I want to talk to you about an RPG that you may not know about, or at the very least, you may not know is going into 1.0 release that is actually releasing from early access in like 7 days or less, depending on when you're watching this. Actually, it's definitely going to be less because I'm slow and I got to edit this.
He was the hand that reached beyond knowing. The seeker who dared cross the boundaries.
I've seen people like you before. Broken, worn down, dragged through the mud.
You can't keep throwing lives into this abyss. We can't justify this. There's no victory worth such a cost.
Your soul is diseased. There is something poisoning it. What spreads through your body is something more. It touches the very essence of one's soul.
The RPG in question is Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon, an open world RPG that may be one of the most under the radar RPG releases of the year. It is an open world AA RPG, so no, not a AAA experience or anything like that. It's one that has just enough polish and just enough jank to bestill a Bethesda fan's heart. Tainted Grail Fall of Avalon is releasing on May 23rd, 2025, after a while in early access, a couple years at this point. A dark reimagining of Arthurian legend with first and third person and branching narrative, tons of freedom, thrilling combat with a class you can craft yourself, combining magic, ranged, or even going straight for a big old two-handed sword, or a big old axe and then having a skeleton friend to help you, which I really found to be a lot of fun. After 600 years of constant struggle, it is up to you to decide what the legacy of King Arthur will be on the world. A world that descends into the primordial forces of chaos at night, as the weirdness, spelled with a Y, takes over the land and changes the very fabric of reality. A dark game with over 200 side quests, 250 quest NPCs, and one drunken guard.
What's happening? In the name of the All Mother, what are you doing? I could have stabbed you. Wait, I haven't seen you before. All right, true. Why didn't you, eh? You could have killed me. So you're not one of them bandits, then? Who are you, huh? This pin. I can't say I see it very clearly at this present moment, but it does look important. Very official. Oh, yes, I remember now. I welcome thee, ye royal person, on behalf of the keepers. You are a great friend to our own. Welcome.
I can only speak for the game in its unreleased state, its early access state, because the version of the game that I have right now is 0.9, and the version of the game that I spent the most time in years ago when it first released into early access was significantly older than that, and a lot has changed in that, which is part of what this video is about. But it definitely feels to me like a little bit like an unpolished gem, a worthy experience of spending some time in and like just traipsing around and maybe, you know, dying a lot, like a shit ton. This is a game that I recommend specifically if you are a fan of these open world RPGs, because it really does feel like a love letter to them. But to prepare you a bit for this, I wanted to do a quick, short, dirty review of it. Basically tell you some of the negative things to expect and some of the positive things to expect, just so that you're kind of aware of what's going on. Enemy AI can be fairly dumb. This can go either way because it does allow you to trick them, which is helpful at times because combat doesn't always feel balanced. And especially early on, healing is at a premium. But obviously, as with many games like this, the deeper you get into the game and the more you unlock of your skill set, the easier it gets. And that lack of balance doesn't really hinder the fun of it. You can really save whenever, and there's a whole lot of freedom in what and where you go about things. There's something really special about just running around in a whole new dangerous world, not knowing what enemies are going to devastate your face, trying to get cool new gear, of which there is a ton in this game, and it all looks pretty freaking good. Playing with different combat styles, hot swapping from two-handed swords to bows to fire spells, and setting things on fire, which is, you know, one of the most fun things, or even summoning creatures to battle for you and running away and screaming. There are tons of nooks and crannies to explore and hidden dungeons to find, even though the game is slated to have only 3 major zone areas at launch, as deceptively large as there will still be plenty to explore above and underground. Again, I just want to stress, this is a AA game. This is not going to be anything like even just like the Oblivion remaster or what we expect from a Skyrim or something like that. Keep in mind that this is closer to an indie title. Just trying to set expectations. I had my fair share of graphical glitches in the pre-release candidate, something they will badly need to fix before it actually releases. This seems to be a lighting issue in the newer build, as it was not present when I played earlier well over a year ago. A lot of those graphical issues are here in this B-roll and they can be distracting, but I would expect this to be one of the top things on the list for them to fix before they launch into 1.0 this month in just a couple days. And I do want to point out that it's just a bug that happened. It didn't happen every time I played, just some of the time I played, and I couldn't even really like recreate how and when it happened, though it did seem somewhat tied to looking at the sun, which is probably not something I should do anyway, I guess. The ability to do anything and face the consequences are satisfying. For example, this chap here is busy hacking away at this statue of King Arthur. Pleasant enough, bloke. I come around the corner though and see that there's some copper ore to mine. Well, but I need a pickaxe. And well, wouldn't you know it, but our bald friend over here happens to have just that. And now, well, now I have procured a pickaxe. And no one has to know how. The story is intriguing and a bit different. It goes straight to the heart of a lot of fantasy by telling an interesting tale about King Arthur. The setting around it is dark, complete with horrifying body parts, cultists, undead monsters, corpse eaters, bloody bits, and monsters galore. Though it's not without its fair share of humor, so lots of puns are used in this game. For example, like I had one where I killed a necromancer and made some puns on his grave when I engraved it. It's a real thing that happens in this game. It doesn't always hit. The dialogue doesn't always hit. It's not like it's not if you're coming from like Expedition 33, you'll probably find it kind of is just fine, but it's not bad by any means either. It's not quite grim dark, but it is a pretty dark setting overall, just in general. And hell, some enemies even just like jump scare you, you know? What is that? Are those like wisps or something? Kind of, oh shit. Oh fuck, shit, balls. God damn it. Okay. Fucking hell. Like, or maybe that's just me because I'm jumpy. Wait, the one with this. Is that you? The swords. Look, hang on, I gotta look for loot. Oh! The biggest improvement for me jumping back in was the vastly improved character models and acting from the last time I played. I mean, who can fault this guy?
Boy, friend, a question. Do you know why people always stop and watch a blacksmith at work? Because he's riveting. It's good to see a new face in this sad hole.
Remember how I said that they have puns? Or what about this person right here?
All mother's tits. I've just about had it with this bunch of repressed virgins. And who might you be? You don't look like one of them.
I was about to make a joke here when I first was recording this about how this might be half of my audience, but given the current stage of gaming discourse, I think that was just a little bit too on the nose. Point being, the voice acting in this game, the acting is pretty damn good. The story has grown more coherent as well, and they've made some significant changes from what I experienced. The way that it goes about introducing you to the game is pretty similar, but there's also some really significant changes to how and when you get to find out about something like Arthur. They also added a really cool feature that I don't think I've ever seen in an RPG. If you have, let me know down in the comment section below. But I bought a sketchbook from this vendor, and this allowed me to essentially take little hand-drawn screenshots of whatever I was looking at. It's nifty, it's fun. It's not the kind of thing that a ton of people might even notice, but to me, it was pretty awesome. It's a nice little touch, a nice little bit of flavor. It's kind of cool. You can also hit people with the book. There's a lot more to this game, a lot more to explore and explain, but I really just wanted to put it on your radar so you can start looking into it and see if it's something that you personally want to play. If you enjoy old school open world RPGs and are looking for the next stealth archer build, you could do much worse. Every time I've loaded up Tainted Grail, I've had more fun than the last time I did, and I found myself wanting to jump back in and discover more of its dark unfolding lore. Just be careful not to accidentally hit people you don't want to, because they tend to get mad at you for some reason. And they don't forget that they're mad at you. If you want to know a bit more about this game, a bit more about my first impressions of the game when I first started playing it in early access, where a lot of that's kind of still like the same, but then with the aforementioned upgrades in this video, you can find that in this video right here. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Redbeard Flynn, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.